today.
Yay!
I
did Hebrews.
And Jesus was with his 12 disciplines. Sorry, those are disciples. And I was reading this passage, and the very beginning of this passage said, it's in Matthew 16. Sorry.
Those were her text messages.
Disciples Peter, James, and John.
There's 12 of them, so that's
Peter,
a
James,
third
John.
of them.
3 of
No,
them.
that's a fourth of them. A quarter of
Peter,
them.
James, John.
Jesus. Matthew.
Oh,
that was right.
Hebrew. Yeah.
Luke.
Who
David.
was the one who betrayed him? No.
Peter.
No.
Not
Saul.
Paul.
Posh.
Hi,
Oh wait,
Paul.
that's not even someone in the Bible.
Oh, I got it. His name was
King James.
He was like, there was somebody who would deceive me at this table. They were like, who? And then he was like, was it Matthew? No, Matthew was the
Was it
first.
King James? Was it
I
James?
swear it was Peter because he
I thought it was Peter.
resisted God 3 times.
Was it?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that. Who resisted God three
Ask
times?
another question.
Mommy, I learned that on the.
You know, do anybody know why we say Yeshua or instead of Jesus?
Oh my gosh.
I heard
David.
Terrence, take a whack at it.
I heard
Mark.
that one of you, I think
Mom,
was
what's it,
Larissa,
Mom?
said that Jesus means
Shut.
something. I forgot.
Okay, pick me.
Okay.
Alright, so 2 reasons. One, I'm
you
gonna finish
dark?
Terrence's. because the Jesus means Hail Zeus, and then the J wasn't in the Hebrew language, I think, until the
Wasn't in
Until-
any language
until 800 years ago, I think.
No, until after the 15th century.
Which means Constantine did it.
Constantine, if you guys ever get a chance to study
And so,
Constantine's reign, you will understand why it's so important for us to get back to our Hebraic values and kind of let go of some of these Euro-Christian teachings that was taught. Because what Constantine did was he went in to destroy and take over the land. And when he did that, he, first of all, did not allow, he made all the countrymen work on Saturday so that the Hebrews could not worship on Saturday. And he switched a day of worship from Saturday to Sunday
that's really something.
because he knew that Saturday was a Sabbath. And then the other thing that he did was change the language. He changed the calendar, he changed the language, and so this was all part of the plan. He did a lot of other things, but we won't talk about it tonight.
And
I
who
really wanna get to
is
this.
Constantine?
That's for you to look up.
No, I'm trying.
No, I'm saying I would really love for somebody to, one Shabbat, bring some information about Constantine. If you don't know everything about him, bring something that you learned about him that you were able to find out, because Constantine is the reason why in slavery we were stripped of all of the knowledge.
Well, can you tell us what his last name is so we can look him
That
up?
is his last name, Constantine.
Well,
He
what's
was
his
a king.
first name?
Look it up.
How are we gonna look it up? We can't just type in Constantine and decide to.
I wanted to
Constantine
add
starts with a C.
Okay,
Yeah.
All
Can I add
Constantine
to what I
starts
said about the Yehoshua?
Yeah.
No.
And then since there's a J now in the language, it would translate to modern day.
What are you looking at?
I'm thinking. Listen. It would be Joshua.
Bless you. Yes. So in Hebrew, the Son of God, the Son of Man, his name was Yehoshua. If you translated it correctly into the English language, instead of the name Jesus, technically it would be Joshua. So what Constantine did was he took what the Roman Catholics, have y'all heard of that, Roman Catholics? He took what their beliefs was, which was based out of a mystical, multi-God type of a system, and brought their beliefs in Christian faith, and so that's why some of the information has been misconstrued. Now, I will say this. I don't want you, nor will I ever get hung up on the name. Because, like, it doesn't matter if K-Rail calls me Auntie Baby Girl, or if Terrence calls me Auntie Trisha, or if David calls me Babe, or if Kiana calls me Sis, I'm going to answer because I know they're talking to me. And that's why Yehoshua still answers to the name of Jesus, because he knows you're talking to him. And he's not going to deny you because you don't know his name, or because you haven't called him by his name. But the Bible does say, until all of the earth, until every man knows his name, he will not come back. So that's why it's important for us who do know to teach our children, to teach our families, to teach their friends. Y'all is just going to make this a long dissertation, yes.
Yes, it's already been 5 minutes.
So?
In
Look,
45
Marissa,
seconds.
be quiet, yes.
You
Go
just
ahead.
said it.
Didn't Jesus have a wife?
Jesus did not have a wife.
He had a girlfriend.
We don't know that.
That's what they make it, but they really
But
make it seem like he had a girlfriend.
But I will say this. When you are 12 or 13 or 14, depending on who you are, and you've gone through your rite of passage, you have the right to believe whatever it is you want to believe. All I ask is that you take what I teach you now and build on it. Don't believe everything mommy tell you. Go and search for it for yourself, because I could lead you wrong. Like the very first time we did Shabbat and I gave y'all misinformation. People make mistakes all the time. We're not perfect. We're human. So always learn for yourself and study for yourself.
If you don't make mistakes, then you will never learn.
Say it again, nephew.
Look at
Get
her
this on
finger.
video. Get this on video.
Oh no.
Say it again, nephew.
Stop it!
Oh,
What are you doing?
Don't make mistakes, then you will
Move,
never learn.
Yeah, look at this.
Are we supposed to clap?
Move your leg, little
Okay,
man.
so let me get to
Move
the
that
meat.
head. Damn.
Meat. Let's get into meat, because I know Fatums over here loves meat.
Yeah. Get to the meat.
I smell meat.
That's right.
I actually smell
Yeah,
meat.
how your sister gonna come up in our house and having it stinking worse than we do?
Okay, I know that's right, sis. Do it again. All right, so what happened was I was reading the Bible,
Come on now.
and actually I was reading the Bible on my phone, and I came across this passage, and it's in Matthew 16,
Be up in a couple hours.
verse 13.
Come on.
And it says, I'm just going to read this. It says, when Jesus, or when Yehoshua came into the coast of the Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, whom do men say that the Son of Man am? And I thought that was, I don't know, I sat there for a minute thinking about this, because a lot of people nowadays will tell you it does not matter what people think about you. And that's a lie. And we know it's a lie because right here in the passage, even Yeshua himself was wondering, what do men say that I am? What do men call me? What do they say? Yes.
Okay, so you're saying that, like, when people's like, don't worry about what they call you. It doesn't matter what they call you as long as you know what you are.
Right, that is still true. But what I'm saying is, if I'm sitting in this chair and I ask Atira, who do people say that I am? And she says, people say that you party too much.
And you eat a
And
lot
I'm
of
like,
pork.
whatever, I don't party enough. And then I go to TT and I say, TT, what do people say that I am? And she be like, well, they said you party too much. I'm like, whatever. Next, Relly. What they say about Auntie? And she's like, well, they say you party too much. Guess what? It might just be a possibility that I
Or like
party too much.
what Cat Williams said.
All I'm saying is that sometimes you need to take a look. It's hard. It's really easy to see other people. It's really hard to see yourself. You can look in the mirror all day long and you still don't really see yourself because you're looking through like a window, and it's almost a distorted view. It's almost like when you go to the haunted house or the fun houses and they got those mirrors that make you tall and fat. It's a distorted view of yourself. And so here when Yehoshua was saying, he said, whom do men say that I, the Son? Now hold on, let's just dig a little bit deeper. Just get down into the meat, closer to the bone. So he says, he's saying, whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? Notice he asked the question, but he already gave you the answer.
Mm-hmm.
He's already telling you, I know who I am. So that goes back to what you're saying. I know who I am, but who do they say that I am?
Oh, you know what? That sounds like a Moan moment.
I am
Yeah, we should have had that
what
here.
God says I am.
Listen, the camera is not about you.
Shut up, nobody asked you.
I just want to read just a little bit more. Well, so I was intrigued by this one question, because to me, I'm like, here is the man that is God, who comes down in human form, and even in the midst, this is during this time. See, one thing in Jewish culture, I will say, they study, and they do what they call an exegesis study, and that means that you have to answer before you even get to reading and digging into the story. You got to answer questions like who, what, when, where, and why. That means you've got to not only read the Bible, but you've got to read the Torah. You've got to have a concordance, because you need to have a history book, because you need to know what's surrounding this passage. You got to understand the passage in full. And so what was happening during this time, I don't know everything because I didn't do an exegesis study, but I know that this is during the time when Jesus just started doing his miracles. He just started doing his teachings. It's like he's coming into his own. He understands exactly who he is. He knows what his purpose is. And for him to stop and ask, who do they say I am, was profound. But what was even more profound was what happened afterwards. It says in verse 14, and they said, some say that thou art John the Baptist, some Elias, and others Jeremias, or one of the prophets.
I like Jeremiah's.
Right.
I thought it was Jeremiah.
It's Jeremias.
Jeremiah.
So in verse 15 he said, he saith unto them, but whom say ye that I am? So now we went from him wanting to know what does all of the people say. So put it in modern day text. So if I'm sitting at the lunch table and I'm hanging with my girls, or I'm hanging with my guys, I'm saying, what have y'all been hearing about me in school? Okay. Then after they said, well, this is what they saying about you, this is what they saying about you, I'm going to turn to my girls and be like, so what are you saying about me? Who do you say that I am? This is profound. I loved it. Because see, if you think about it, first of all, you've got to understand that Yehoshua is a black man.
Oh my God.
Hallelujah.
Tell me that again, sis.
Yehoshua is a black man. So
my kids, please explain that to them, because my kids are getting stuff from all over the
hold
place.
on. Y'all don't want to get Auntie started on this one, because I can absolutely get into the word and prove to you that Yehoshua is a black man. And we're not even if you don't want to believe
Terrence,
in a brother,
not blonde hair, blue eye.
I can even refute that. We're going to get into that one Sabbath. We're going to get into that.
Not blonde hair, blue eye.
Oh, I'm going.
Jesus is a spirit.
Got that, Tiana?
Okay, so first of all, we need to understand that yes, Yehoshua was a black man. So when you think about it in that context alone, you have to understand that when he speaks, most black men can speak with some authority. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain kind of swag that a man of African descent, or a man with deeper skin tone, it's a kind of a presence that he has. So as he's doing this, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, he's thinking, what have you heard about me? Then he's going to say, well, what do you say who do you say that I am? And this is what they said. And Simon Peter answered and said, thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. So he knew.